Hi and welcome to the fourth episode, Grade 9 Drama and Theatre. The topic for today and for several of the coming episodes is investigating and rehearsing. Just to show the process of how to work with this, I would like to illustrate it. What we are doing is we are turning something two-dimensional into something three-dimensional. With two dimensions, I mean the paper where you have the text on. That is two-dimensional. But now we are going into a process where we want it to be three-dimensional. That means actors acting. And just to illustrate here, we have one kind of material, maybe a liquid, that is the first impression of what we are having. The process is the funnel. And now we are pouring down the material we are supposed to investigate and rehearse through the tunnel. And that is the process. The tunnel is the process. And as you see now, the shape is different from the first one. So we have transformed something into something that is probably more suitable for us to tell the story from the script. So this is just to show you. And we are now focusing on the process. That means the funnel. Just to remind you a little bit before we start going through the rehearsal techniques and how to investigate. Before we start we need to allocate some of the functions in theater. To produce theater, you need not only to have actors, you need to have someone in your group thinking about set design. You need to have, and that means planning how the room will be for the actors to work in. Maybe that person needs to make some sketches and plans. In professional theater, you build models in three-dimensional just to see how everything is working. But maybe in this case, you only have to make a drawing and then you plan how the set design will be. Another function is, of course, the costume designer. That means you are the one deciding how and what kind of clothes the actors or the characters will wear. And as I said before earlier, the shoes are the most important part to start with when you are rehearsing. It decides a lot of the posture of the body. We also have something we can call the prop. The man who is, or female who is working with the props. And props means property in theater. So props is all the things that you touch with your hands or move around. And that might not be mentioned so much in the manuscript. So you might have to invent what they are using. As I have shown before, different characters use props in a different way. And that shows also how they are and how they are feeling inside. We have also the technical aspect, and sometimes this takes a little too much of your energy because everyone wants to involve in how the light will be and what kind of music we are using. But I suggest that you wait a little until the last weeks before you have your presentation or you have the opening night for the performance. So focusing not too much on the technical aspects of the performance from the beginning. Then we have a small cup, but a very important cup. We have the leader of the group. And in your case, it means you are the bridge between the group and the teacher. You try to keep track of when things are supposed to happen. For instance, when do we need to have the table we want to have? You are also responsible for seeing that all the different functions are separated so they don't start to interfere in each other's work too much. There is one responsible set designer, costume designer, the prop master, and the technician. And then you are the one coordinating the work. In professional theater, you talk about the producer. You have maybe also the function of being the director in this case. That means the one who is leading the rehearsal. And if you think about it, that means also you need not to have the largest part in the play on stage. So you have to be careful with that. So there you have the functions that need to be allocated in the group before you start to investigate and rehearse. And what do I mean with investigate now? It is a way to create a richer process, so you get inspiration from different kind of sources. For instance, have you seen a film or a movie or something that is on TV that reminds of the plot or the story you are now supposed to stage? Have you read a book about the topics? Have you seen any computer games or that can associate with the plot of the script? So you collect a lot of material. You ask yourself, what can I use for inspiration? And how can we use it in our staging of the script? And this can be done individually, and then you discuss it in your group. So try to keep the story in your mind all the time, because you will find there is a lot of material to collect that can inspire you in the future work. This is just to show you from my history of staging. This is Macbeth, and this is like my own director's book where I have tried to gather all kinds of inspiration. Don't be scared about the heavy book here. I don't assume you will collect all this kind of material, but it's good to open up to the world around you to collect information. And the good thing when you are doing this, you will learn things. For instance, I have learned a lot about psychology and sociology and history working with, for instance, Macbeth. And you will do the same thing, and you will not even think about that it is a subject in school. So you will learn a lot of things searching material around you. And in the end, you will be able to produce this kind of performance. This was the introduction to the investigation and to start to rehearse. Next episode will be about the will of the character. Thank you.